This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at a press conference here to announce Tyson Fury's defence of his WBC title, 23rd of April, Wembley Stadium.
Against me and this man here, lovely looking fella here, look.
First,
Use his image, please, because he wants to get paid for this, so make sure you get his lovely looking face on the camera. This is him, the body snatcher, Whyte, WBC title challenger. There he is.
first of all, a reaction to Whyte not being present at the press conference. Do you care or not care? Or?
Yep, I'm in his mind, free of charge now. Him not coming here today, so I couldn't get in his mind, means I'm already in his mind because he was already thinking about that sort of stuff. So I'm living his mind rent-free. Yet again. I've won. I've won the fight. I know I'm going to win the fight. That's it. All done. Easy work.
To your understanding, why did he not turn up to this press conference today?
Because he didn't want to face me. That was it.
Okay. There wasn't anything kind of deeper than that?
Not that I know of.
To do with money or anything else?
They win money. He's getting I was going to say 8 times. 32 times his biggest payday. So, yeah. It's not to do with money. He's getting $8 million and $8.4 million if he can beat me. So, it's not to do with money. 32 times his biggest payday. And if you don't believe me, check it out. He made $250,000 for his last fight. He's getting, if he beats me, $8.4 million. So, that's probably more than 32 times. Probably 33 times.
Do you anticipate that he won't take part in any of the kind of media stuff leading up to April 23rd?
Do you think I need him? Did you see what happened today? I'm a one-man army. I'm a one-man band show. It's like I don't need an opponent to talk. What are they going to say? 3 words and then pass the question on. I held this today on my own, single-handedly. I even had an invisible face-off. I don't need anybody to sell a fight. People know what they get when I come to the ring. Entertained, and someone gets knocked out. That's it. That's all we do.
Despite being in that #1 position with the WBC,
apart from all those boxing matches that I did back in the day, I used to outpoint everybody. Now I just go bang, bang, bang. See it a bit more.
Despite,
I should say the new me, KUGAN, yeah, because people probably quote me on that.
Despite Whyte being #1 with the WBC for quite some time, do you believe that he's earned his right to be in that position and to face you? That's a fair comment that he has earned that right?
If we go on merit and titles won, what's he actually ever won? Let me tell you, because you can't get involved. He's won the British title before, but that's it. He's won some WBC intermediate title thing, whatever it is. But it's not a world title, and it's not an official belt. Like whatever WBC silver or something like that, yeah. WBC silver, that's like a Mickey Mouse belt. So I hope the WBC don't mind me saying that, but it's not a world title. Mauricio himself will say that. It's not a world title. It's a stepping stone belt for a young fighter who's coming up. So he's won the British title, fair play to him. It's a good belt to win, but I've won 17 belts along the way. Props to me, the big man. He can't.
All right.
Do you know what it is? Him or his pal up there, anybody in this room, couldn't ask me a question that I couldn't answer. There's no one can ask me anything because I got nothing to hide. I can answer any single question. Anything that you want to talk about, let it go. The Big Mac is ready to answer. No one can make me feel uncomfortable or ask me probing questions because I've got nothing. I'll answer the question if I can. If it's possible for me to answer, I'll answer. So
what's the toughest question somebody could ask you in your head?
There's nothing. There isn't nothing that no one can ask me. Literally, they could ask me my shoe size to something else size, yeah, and I'd tell them. There's nothing that I'm an open book. Anything. Have you got anything you want to think of? You might think might be a hard question. Hit me with it, baby. Press conference London. Hardest question you can think of to me. Anything you want. No all's barred.
Oh, can I just continue with my line of questioning first? Because I don't need to kind of cater to agendas. You said in that press conference you believe that Whyte was told by his promoter, I'm assuming you're referring to Eddie Hearn, not to attend that. That's what you believe?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
I know that's a fact, yeah.
Okay. So why would he say that to him?
I'll tell you why. Because he's getting his money, and whether he turns up to the press conference or not, or sells the fight or he doesn't, he's getting the same money. So he's like, oh no, don't sell the fight, don't turn up for the fight, because you're not getting any more money. There's no gain for you there. But it's not all about gain. This is legacy. These kids will ask you in 10 years' time, Dad, where were you? And Dad will go, I should have been there. But the promoter who don't even speak to me anymore, don't even like, who I hate, who owes me money, told me not to go. So it's more than a few quid. It's more like a thing where he's being advised not to go. And it's like, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy stuff. Don't go to the press conference. Don't do any media. Okay, that's your problem, not mine. I don't need Dylan Whyte here. Dylan Whyte here, he wouldn't have added any more spice to this press conference other than me punching him in the mouth today. That had been going away with teeth missing and a busted lip. Other than that, yeah, he couldn't have added anything to this conference. There's got to be a good start, a good middle and a good end, and we had it all today.
Eddie Hearn also said that he wasn't welcome to attend this press conference.
Who wasn't?
Mr. Hearn.
Why?
That's what he kept saying, that he wasn't wanted here, or he wasn't invited here.
No, it was just that it wasn't that he wasn't wanted or wasn't invited. It was that he was irrelevant here. Because he wants to be the big promoter, but he's lost 2 big purse bids in a row. So, in your face, Mosh. Frank Warren's the new power in these waters again. So sit down, boy. Sit down. And come back when you've got a Hall of Fame behind you. Until then, stuff it.
One of the questions that kept being asked about this purse bid was, were you getting that 80% of that 41 million,
Yeah, how much am I getting?
or had a deal been reached between you and whoever, where, in Hearn's words, the bid was manipulated, but not in a negative
How could it be
way.
manipulated? I don't understand.
Well, for example, you and Frank or Bob work a deal out for you. You get X amount. So regardless of the bid, you're still getting that.
Yeah.
Dillian Whyte gets 20% of the 41 million.
So how would that be beneficial for me? What, to take more or less?
What would only be for you to take less?
Oh, that would be a good business move. Yeah, I'll go for that.
I'm led to believe that's a known
day
thing
off,
that people
yeah.
do in purse bid situations.
If the purse bid's, what is it, 40 odd million? Yeah. All right, and what's my end? Whatever it is, 80% of that. I've not even done the maths because it's irrelevant.
8% of 40 million, 30 odd million.
Why would I want to take less than that? To do Frank a favour or somebody a favour?
That's what was suggested. So that was one of them
The
questions.
only deal I'd do is if they was going to pay me more.
How does that work?
Actually, yeah, I am getting paid more. Because when I beat Dylan Whyte, I get 10% of his
10%
purse
more.
as well.
10% more. Okay.
Yes. Oh, epic. So how much will Dylan Whyte actually get then? He'll get 10. What's 10% of 20%? What is that? 2% extra. Yeah, I get an extra 2%. So Dylan Whyte's initially only going to get 18%.
80% of 40 million is around 30 million pound.
And
32 million.
why I'm taking an extra 10% of his 20% is because on Twitter he called me a few names, and I did say to him, if you keep calling me names, I'm going to keep deducting you. So this is for you, Dillian. 18%. In fact, that's like an old dosser's wage, isn't it? Slink. He's not an old dosser, he's a big old slink, Dylan Whyte is. So there we are. New name for him, Slink. Hey, Dad! What's a slink? Dylan Whyte, then!
Okay. Can I ask you about Alexander Usyk?
What about him?
The situation prior to this fight, about you wanting to fight someone
Oh my God,
before.
that's a bad question, I can't answer it.
That's accurate, isn't it? You wanted to fight one before having the Usyk fight.
No, that's not actually true. So here's the thing. The whole fight thing was like, oh, Dylan Whyte and Joshua were going to step aside. One's getting 5 mil, one was getting 15 mil or whatever, yeah, to step aside and let the undisputed fight happen. So all along, I had the date in my mind of April 26. It was no secret. I talked about it for a long time. But when we went to Usyk's people to make the fight, they said, oh no, we can't do it in April. It's got to be June. Yeah? So I'm like, I've waited all this time. I'm fighting in April regardless. I ain't running my career with somebody else. Yeah? So it was like, okay, if he can't be ready until June, then I'll have a fight in between. So it was going to be X, Y, and Z.
So it's a timing issue for you.
Yeah. There was no like, oh, I don't want to fight Usyk because he's too good for me or whatever. I don't know what the excuse they make, whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is, I was always going to fight on April of 26 before this. And I offered them that fight, Usyk, and that. They said they couldn't be ready. They wasn't ready in time for whatever reasons. It's their own business. So I was going to get a fight in between on April 26 in Manchester at the MEN Arena, which was all booked and done. And then I was going to fight Usyk in the next fight, which if you asked all our friends and everybody else, they know the truth. They tell you what it was. There's no lying or whatever. And then the final straw on the camel's neck was a little divvy come back on the morning of the cut-off point, yeah?
Can you just let us know who you're referring to when you say little?
Joshua, and he wanted an extra 5 million. He wanted 2.5 million out of my purse and 2.5 million out of Usyk's purse. And that was not happening, not at all. So I told him to get stuffed and you've lost all your money. And that's what happened. So they was like, they realised what they'd done. And that's it. They were just being greedy. Greed, that's all. Greed made it didn't happen. It wasn't for the sake I wanted another fight in between. I was having another fight in between. Usyk's people were happy with that. There was no problem. That was all greed. Happy days. But the fact of the matter is, they wanted more money to step aside, and I didn't think it was viable. I didn't think it was worth it giving him 20 million to do nothing, when he won't get 20 million for the rematch because he's only on 40% of the loser's end of the purse. So there we are. That's all we're on to. So now they lost all that money, the step aside money. Yeah, he could have had an easy comeback fight. Then he could have got the massive fight against the winner for the undisputed title. But the Gypsy King made that go away because I'm holding all the cards. So, just for his greed, he lost all that money and them fights. He could have went on the piss all year, yeah, collected, step aside, a bum fight, knockover, and then even if he didn't train, turn up and get a massive payday for the Undisputed Championship of the World. Even if he didn't want to box anymore, he could have done that. But now, he gets to get beat for pennies in hindsight of what it should be, and here we are. And I made that happen, so that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments.
Did this deal change as time went on over the last 2 or 3 months, or was this always the deal in your opinion, that regarding Joshua and the step aside? Did that deal, like the dynamics of that deal change as time went on?
He was always getting his 15 mil to step aside. There was a lot of moving cogs in it, like Dylan Whyte. They were all making excuses. They wanted this, they wanted that.
But you fighting in April,
Yeah,
was that
always the case? Frank will tell you, that was the booked venue. And then, however, when we said, right, Dylan Whyte fight will happen next, all right, no problem, fuck that. Let's go to the mandatory. They're calling for the fight purse bids, okay? Is that for me? Thank you. There we are, Curiosity in the house. Big JK. I was away for a minute.
actually taste all right?
Yeah, lovely. Absolutely stunning. Try some now. What was I saying there?
You was talking about the deal. You said the deal was always the case that you would fight in April. I said, did that situation change?
No, that was happening, and then what happened was, as soon as we went to purse bids, it was looking at venues for the Dylan Whyte fight. So Cardiff or Wembley was available, but they said to me, look, we can do it in Manchester, or we can wait 4 weeks and do it at the capital city stadium in Wembley. I said, no brainer, do it then, because the other deals was off the table anyway. And now there's no possibility that AJ can fight for the Undisputed Championship unless he beats Usyk. Snookered.
And you don't believe he will?
What?
You don't believe Joshua wins that rematch?
No, not at all. I don't think the fight happens now, do you? With the way things are going?
I was going to ask you about that. Have you got any comments to make on kind of what the situation happening in?
None of my business, to be honest. None of my business. And the one thing I don't do, we all know, I don't get involved in other people's businesses.
Okay, well listen, have you got anything else you'd like to say before we finish?
No, not really. I think we've made it all, other than get your Curiosity now in Iceland.
Hold it up a bit.
And many other stores as well. And yeah, make sure you get Dylan Whyte's face on the camera, because he's getting paid enough to promote the fight. So there we are. All the best. And for all the people out there who thought that he could ask me some questions that I was going to avoid,
I might take you up on this opportunity at a different point.
Can you think of anything? Like, not even one thing while you're here? Anything? Literally anything.
Well, can I ask you a question then? You want to go there?
Yeah, anything you want.
Okay. So a question I always get asked, do you know what I'm going to ask, don't you?
I don't know what you're asking.
Okay. People ask you about the money to charity. That's the question that a lot of people ask me.
Yeah.
And say,
And
you never press...
right.
I have actually asked you before once.
Yeah, plenty of time. And this is my answer. That's my business. Mind your own. There you go.
Blast it. Thank you very much.
That's never been a secret. What I do for my charities is my own personal business. I don't need a good pat on the back. Oh, Tyson's a good lad. Let's documentate everything we do. That's my business. If you don't like it, get stuffed. Is there anything else you can ask me? Anything else?
No, we're good.
Literally anything. No. Are you sure?
Yeah, as a baby.
Here we are.
As a baby.
As your pal up there, can he answer me anything? Does he want to ask me anything? What I can't answer, just to make Eddie Hearn happy? You heard it here first.
As a baby.
So, she is absolutely fantastic. How's yours?
Wonderful. Turn 1 the other day.
Fantastic. Oh, Adam Smith, just a man of the moment.
Just come in.